Hello, dear students. Good morning to all of you. As we all are doing the revision work, so in the series of the revision, we have already discussed about the forms of business organization, in which we have discussed about the first form of business organization, that is sole proprietorship business. Now today we will learn about the partnership. So dear students, as we know that it is clear with its name that partnership means what? Partnership means the kind of voluntary association of two or more persons who agree to carry on a small business jointly and share its profits and losses. मतलब, dear students, we can say that when two or more persons are joined together for the purpose of earning profit or for the purpose of doing the business. So dear students, according to the partnership term, at least two persons are required, and there is a term that if the business, we are talking about the business must be valid, because if the business is doing like invalid business or a kind of those business which cannot be stand before the law, then it cannot be said as it is the partnership. For example, suppose that A and B, these are two partners, these are two persons agree to do any kind of theft activity or selling any kind of the goods which are going to be stolen by them. And if they have make a kind of partnership to steal the goods and to steal the goods and sell it in the market, and the whatever the earning they are getting, they will distribute it equally. So it cannot be said as partnership, because partnership does not mean to do any kind of illegal activities, illegal business. So business must be valid, and the motive of the partners must be to earn and distribute the profit. It means there must be the motive to earn profit. It does not based on the distribution of providing services to the society. So dear students, it is clear with its definition that partnership is the voluntary association of two or more persons in which business is carried by all or any one of them, according to the Partnership Act 1932. Now, on the basis of the definition, we find some features of the partnership. So first is two or more persons. In partnership business, at least two persons are required, and maximum number of persons are in partnership is 10 in case of banking business, and in case of non-banking business it can be 20 according to the Partnership Act 1932, but with effect from but with effect of Companies Act Companies Act 2013, the maximum number of members can be 50. So dear students, maximum number of members can be 50 according to Companies Act with effect of Companies Act 2013. So either it is banking company or it is banking firm or non-banking partnership. It will be 50 maximum number. Now the agreement It is an outcome of an agreement among the partners, which may be oral or written. It means whenever partnership business is going to be formed, there must be an agreement. And regarding the agreement in Partnership Act, it is clearly stated that it can be either in oral or in written form. If it is in oral form, then the Partnership Act 1932 rule will be followed, and if it is in written form, then the written agreement will be followed if any dispute arises. Now, lawful business, as I have already discussed, that the business must be lawful. It means it can be formed only for the purpose of carrying on the some lawful business. It does not include any kind of illegal activities or the business which cannot be stand before the law. Now the next feature is decision making and control. As we know, in sole proprietorship business, since the owner is one, therefore the decision making and controlling was under one hand. But in case of partnership, each and every partner has the right to participate in management and decision making of the organization. No one partner can be prevented and no one partner can prevent others to take part in the management activity, to take part in the business activities or organizational activities. Now, if we are talking about the liability, the partnership business has unlimited liability. If the firm is suffering from the loss or the firm has so many liabilities, then in that case the firm has to, the partner has to bear all the liability. And if the firm asset is not sufficient, if their capital investment is not sufficient for fulfilling the liability, then they have to introduce their personal property for fulfilling or for making the payment of the liability. Next is mutual agency. As we know that each partner is an implied agent of the other partners and of the firm, and every partner is liable for acts performed by other partners on behalf of the firm. So dear students, we can say simply over here that each partner is a kind of principal and agent for each other. In the absence of any partner, the other partner will perform the work like an agent in the firm. Now, if we are talking about the continuity, so there is a lack of continuity. Firm existence is affected by the death, lunacy, and insolvency of any of its partner, and it suffers from lack of continuity, because if any partner is dead, or any partner become lunatic, mad, or insolvent, in that case the existence of the firm or the business of the firm cannot be continued. It depends on the decision, but most of the time it is seen that the firm goes for its wind up. So continuity cannot be defined, continuity cannot be explained, or continuity cannot be predetermined that how long the firm business will continue. Now, on the basis of above definition and features, we find some merits of partnership business. So first of all, it is easy for formation and closer to. Dear students, it can be easily formed. Only an agreement among the partners is required. There is no legal formalities and something else required for establishment of the business, and therefore it can be wound up easily. Next, the larger financial resources. As we know that different people are joining the firm as a partner, therefore the different hands are coming for contributing the capital. That's why the firm has a large amount of financial resources. Now, if we are talking about the decision, so in sole proprietorship business, a decision is going to be taken by one person. Therefore, it may be, or it can be termed as that it is done in the hasty action, and therefore the decision may be wrong. But in the case of partnership business, the decision must be right, because, or we can say that decision must be balanced, because so many partners has so many partners has decided, and after deciding few terms, they have taken the decision jointly or after consulting each other. So after getting the opinion from each other partner, the partner is going to take the decision. Therefore, the chances of the balanced decision is over here, and the risk can also be shared, which can reduce the anxiety, burden, or stress on the individual partner if any risk arise, because there are so many hands. If any loss, if any risk arise, different partner will contribute their hand for bearing the risk, for reducing the burden of the risk. And secrecy of the business can be also easily maintained about the business affairs, as they are not required to publish their accounts or files or any report to the government, because they are going to maintain their books of accounts, but they are not going to publish their books of accounts. So the business secret will be in the business. No one is going to know about the secret of the business. And as we know that if there is merit, there must be some demerit or limitations of each and every organization. Therefore, in partnership business, there is also some limitations, or we can say the demerits. Now we will discuss about the demerits of the partnership business. In that term, first demerit is limited resources. There is a restriction on the number of partners, hence capital contributed by them is also limited. The number of members cannot be exceed to more than the limited number. Like if with effect of Companies Act 2013, maximum number of members can be 50. So it cannot be exceeded. Therefore, the resources will be limited. Now, the liability is unlimited, as I have already discussed it in the features of partnership, that the liability of the partners are unlimited, and they are liable individually as well as jointly if any loss arise, if any liability comes to the firm, then all the partners should have to bear it in the profit sharing ratio. And if their capital contribution is less, or if their capital contribution is not sufficient, then they will have to introduce their personal property for fulfilling that particular liability. And regarding this term, whether they are going to be declared as insolvent or not, it does not matter, but they have to fulfill the liability of the firm as far as it is possible. Now, lack of continuity, as we have already discussed, that the partnership business can be end at any time if the death or retirement or lunacy or insolvency of the partners occurred. So it is also a kind of drawback of the partnership business, that it can be wind up or it can be closed at any time if some term like death, retirement, and insolvency occurred in the partnership business. Now, next is lack of public confidence. Partnership firms are not required to publish their reports and accounts. Therefore, the public do not have any kind of confidence on that kind of business enterprise, so that they don't want to invest their money in the firm business. Now, if we are talking about the merits and demerits, now first of all we have to know about the types of partners too, because if we are studying the partnership, we must have to know about the types of partner, that how many types of partner can be in the business. So basically partners are going to be divided into 7 kinds. So basically partners are 6 types. First is general or active partner. It means those partner who are coming in the business, who are joining the business day to day, or who are engaged in business activities at daily basis. So this is known as general partner or active partners. Second is sleeping partner or dormant partner. Sleeping or dormant partner means the partner who does not take active part in the management of the firm. They have simply invested their money and they are ready to share profit and loss and unlimited liability. They are not going to take care of the business activity. They are not going to bother about the business transactions. Simply they have made their investments. Now next is secret partner. Secret partner means he participates in business secretly without disclosing his association with the firm to the general public. It means the person who is secret partner is not going to disclose about themselves that that person is related to any particular firm. Now the next term, that is nominal partner. So it denotes such kind of partner which only gives his name and goodwill to the firm. He neither invests money nor takes profit, but his liability is unlimited. Now, if we are talking about partner by estoppels, so he is the one who by his words or conduct gives impression to the outside world that he is a partner. It means if any person is declaring him or herself that that person is a kind of partner in that particular business, and due to his or her declaration the firm is going to be benefited, then that person will be assumed as the partner by estoppel or declaration. Now partner by holding out. So it declares that he is the one who is falsely declared partner of the firm, whereas actually he is not. So and even after becoming aware of it, he does not deny it. So his liability is unlimited towards the party who has dealt with the firm on the basis of this declaration. So basically, dear students, these are the 6 types of partners. Now one more kind of partner is there, that is known as minor partner. As we know, according to the Indian Majority Act 1875, a person who is not fulfilling the age of 18, that cannot be expected as the partner, because that person is not liable for making any kind of agreement according to the Contract Act 1872. But according to Partnership Act 1932, it is mentioned that a privilege can be given to those people who are below the age of 18, and that can be admitted as the partner if that person is going to be admitted only for some benefits in the firm. That person will not be liable or will not be asked to bear any kind of losses of the business, or will not be ready to bear any kind of liability of the business. And if any liability arise, that his liability will be limited to the extent of the capital contributed by them, but not their personal property is going to be used in the business if the liability is greater than their capital contribution. So simply, dear students, we can say that a minor partner is the partner where a person can be appointed as the partner within who is under 18, but that can be admitted, or he can be admitted only for the motive of earning profit, not for the motive of bearing loss. Now, as we have discussed about the types of partner, now we will discuss about the types of partnership. So basically, partnership is going to be divided into two types. First is classification on the basis of duration. So on the basis of duration, first is partners at will. It means this type of partnership exists at the will of the partner. And second is particular partnership. So this type of partnership is formed for the specified period to accomplish a particular project. Okay, so in the partnership, a particular partnership, the partnership is going to be done or established for a certain period, like for 6 months, 2 months, 1 year, or a particular season, like seasonal partnership, for making the sales, or we can say making the purchase and sales of particular item in a season. Next is classification on the basis of liability. On the basis of liability, there are two types of partners. First is general partnership, in which liability of the partners is limited and joint. Registration of the firm is optional, but liability of the partners are unlimited. Liability of the partners are unlimited and joint, and registration of the firm is optional. Whereas in the case of limited liability partnership, it is under the body corporate of the company, where the liability of the partners will be limited. So the liability at least one partner is unlimited, whereas other partner will have the limited liability. But in case of general partnership, all the partners have their unlimited liability. Now the next term, that is partnership deed. So dear students, if we are talking about the partnership deed, simply partnership deed. So partnership deed means what? Partnership deed is a kind of written agreement which contains rules, regulation, rights, duties and responsibilities of the partners and essential elements of the partnership business, so that the smooth functioning of the partnership firm can be done. So basically it includes the following aspects, like the name of the firm, location and address of the firm, duration of business, investment made by each partner, profit sharing ratio of partners, terms relating to salaries, drawings, interest on capital and interest on drawings of partners, and duties and obligations of partners, terms governing admission, retirement and death of partners, preparation on account of accounts and their audit. So dear students, basically these are few basic terms of partnership business, partnership deed. Now if we are talking about the registration of partnership, if it is general partnership, the registration of partnership is not compulsory, it is optional. And basically under the Partnership Act 1932, it is clearly stated that the registration of the firm is voluntary. If the partner wants to make the firm registered, they can, and if the partner does not want to make the firm registered, they cannot. So it is completely voluntary. But in the case of voluntary registration or in the case of non-registration of the partnership firm, the following consequences will arise. First, a form of an unregistered form that a partner of an unregistered firm cannot file suit against the firm of the partner. Second, the firm cannot file a suit against the third party. And third, the firm cannot file a case against its partner. So dear students, these were the term of the partnership business. Now I think you all have got the complete revision of this particular topic, that is partnership business. Now I hope it is sufficient for this chapter. Now we will discuss in the next class about the joint Hindu family business and thereafter cooperative society and companies. Till then, thank you.